in the nation, but look how high she flying now. Is she a prime minister or a pilot? Asking her. Asking her. Hey, is she a prime minister or pilot? Every week the next flight in the docket. Hostess or conquer, who could tell? Barbados come through, not doing well. Borrow and fly, fly and borrow. Tax the people, cry tomorrow. Plane take off, nothing drop down, not a cent. Touching the ground, fly over government. Hey, fly and gone again. Hey. So big body people strain. We catching heat, they catching plane. Fly over government. Hey. No landing in the rain. Fly over government. Hey. Them up high we remain. Yeah. Every time we talk, we hush. Next thing plane ride, do whoosh. In airline. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain borrowing again. Fly over government. Fly over government. Seats are moving, one DLP. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. Seats are moving, one DLP. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. Yellow is the code. Determination in mode. Young them's rise up. We carrying the load. Future in we hands. Barbados we see. Seats and moving. Jump on the DLP. Seats and moving. Yeah, we push the bus. One DLP. Moving on with us. Together as one. We can take the fight. Seats and moving. The future bright. Follow it and not your eyes on the prize. No time to waste. Energy strong. We setting the pace from the block to the hill, from the coast to the town. One DLP, we can hold it down. Sits and move flame. Barbados future. We changing the game. Every street, every parish, everybody see. Young them's leading, we claiming victory. Yeah. Sit in the bus, sit in the hall. Together we rise, we answer the call. From east to west, let the people know. One DLP, we ready to go. Sits and moving, let we push the bus. One DLP, moving on with us. Together as one, we can take the fight. Sits and moving, the future bright. So we own that day. Who got the energy? Who we riding? DLP bus. Future clear, Barbados strong. One DLP, we all be on. Moving, let the people see. Give us on the road. Full speed we be. No stopping now. We answer the call. One DLP, one family standing tall. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. One DLP. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. Seats are moving. Young guns pushing. Seats are moving. Seats are moving.
Good night, Barbados, and welcome to DLP TV. I am your host, Ramon Goodman, candidate for the beautiful constituency of St. Andrew, the most beautiful constituency, by the way. And I thank you for joining us for this extended national conversation. Tonight's program is titled, Youth Decide Our Future, Our Vote. This is not a slogan. This is reality. The decisions made in this election will shape the Barbados that young people must live in. Whether they choose to build their lives here or feel compelled to leave in search of opportunity. For the next 2 hours, youth voices will not be an afterthought. They will be the focus. Across Barbados, people are confronting real and persistent pressures. The rising cost of living, unstable employment prospects, barriers to home ownership, concerns about crime and personal safety, and a growing sense that opportunity is narrowing rather than expanding. At the same time, Barbadians are told the economy is strong and the future is secure. Tonight, we ask the question plainly: does that future feel secure to young people? That is the question. I want to talk to the young people of Barbados tonight. Well, I want to talk to the people of Barbados tonight, and by extension, the young people, as it is your voice. I want to tell the people, if you do not vote, you're voting for the current representative that continues to neglect and take you for granted for all these years. Not because you chose them either, but because staying at home and silent support whoever already holds power. Change only happens when people participate. Your vote is your voice. Keep lots of noise, keep enough noise with that X. That is your leverage and your chance to demand better. If you want accountability, progress, or different direction, you have to show up. Do the right thing. Vote, and then vote some more. Without further ado, I want to introduce my guest here tonight, my esteemed guests, by the way, top class young people, ambitious young people that Barbados will continue to be proud of. I want to introduce Janine Butcher. She is the president of the Young Democrats, a member of the executive, council chairperson for St. Philip North, founder of the Youth Ignite Weekend, a top class weekend. We had very good weekend we had, and I want to continue to thank you for that. One of the weekends that Barbados have never seen before amongst the young people. Top class. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good night, Barbados. Good night to the panelists, and good night. And it's good to be here on DLP TV to share this message with you tonight.
Beautiful. Right beside her is Kevin Cadogan. He is the secretary of the Young Democrats.
Well, thank you, Ramon. And thank you very much, Barbados. Thank you for inviting me to the show as well.
Of course.
It is an honor and a privilege to be here, and I really hope that this discussion could bring out a lot for the public to understand more of what's going on in Barbados right now.
Glad to have you. No doubt about it. And then you have Zico John right beside you. He's a youth activist. Good night, Zico.
Good night, Ramon. Good night. Good night, the extension to Barbados. It's not only a pleasure, but it's an honor to be here to have this discussion with you all tonight.
Beautiful, beautiful. And then, no man, he's not a stranger to DLP TV. Mr. Rowe, he's the candidate for the city of Bridgetown, and he's the future representative of Bridgetown as well. Mr. Rowe, we're going on top, right?
Hey, good, man. Grateful, man.
Good. Hey, bless up. Hey, cool, man.
Perfect.
I'm okay.
DLP TV, good evening, everybody. I want to shout out my man, Damien Fanas, man. We had a fantastic mass canvas. Mr. Thor came down and kept with the little boys. Trying to play football.
I was saying, yeah.
It was good, and then Mr. Thorn is such a great individual. Mr. Thorn said, nah, boy, we can't let these little boys suffer.
Of course.
So I left, we're going to leave.
Mm.
I'll go and get a ball. Mr. Thorn insisted. He drove down Bax's Road. He chose the ball.
Of course.
He went back.
Of course.
Actually, give it to them. But this time he kicked it.
Yeah, he didn't kick it. He didn't kick it again, And I saw him heading the ball as well, too, and heading it accurately as well, too.
Correct.
Yes.
And then I want to shout out all the speakers that spoke Sunday night.
Very good.
At the meeting.
Very good.
And the meeting was on.
Top class.
And I heard that from a reliable source.
Yes.
Told me that Point Greenwich did a fantastic.
Very good, as usual.
Standard.
Standard.
I wanted to be there on time. However, that didn't permit. But the source told me that Corey did a fantastic job.
Very good.
And Janine wasn't here when I gave her flowers about 6 weeks ago. But she's doing a fantastic job.
You must.
Seats are moving.
You
Yeah,
must.
Zico.
You must.
Fantastic job.
Yes.
So she here now, so I give you the flowers now.
Yes, yes,
So you
yes,
know what?
yes.
It was started here,
Yes.
right here. Everybody started here.
Of course.
Can't know here.
Of course.
It was started here.
One of a kind.
By our,
One of a kind.
But by our best.
You got that right. You got that right.
Tell you.
Yes. And then right next to you, coincidentally, we mentioned the meeting. This young man here, he did a fantastic job.
Rockstar, boy.
A fantastic job. You know, his name is Mr. Rasheed Belgrave. He is a candidate for Christchurch West Central. Best of love. We're getting on top, day. You
Thank
cool?
you very much, sir. Good night to all panelists. Thank you, boss, for having me tonight. I hope we have a very stimulating discussion in relation to the youth. And yes, I hope we didn't feel like revealing your source. But yes, I would say the meeting the other night was, I think, is the first of many. The energy was up. The support was there. You know, like I said, in my opinion, I won't argue with anybody, but I thought Corey did very well. He's a first-time candidate as well, first time speaking from the platform.
Of course.
Very strong, a lot of salient points, and we look, as a young group, you know, the faces of the DLP, you know, a bit younger, a bit fresher, and as a group, I think we're happy to be moving forward in a positive direction for Barbados and for the party.
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for committing to an honest and meaningful discussion. No doubt about it, right? You know, I know usually in these sessions, you know, we are political. We can become political sometimes, but we start with a light moment here, right? I'm going to ask everyone how their day went. How was your day today, Janine?
Well, my day was as busy as usual.
Yes, yes, yes.
I was taking a part off from my headache that I have. But otherwise, I'm really glad to be here on DLP TV tonight because this topic is very important.
Yes.
Not only for me, but for the youth of Barbados, because we have to decide our future.
It's true.
It is ours.
It's true. And I want to wish you better where the headache is concerned. Kevin, how you feeling tonight?
Well, for me,
How was your day?
it was a very productive day. Very busy, but productive.
Productive sounds good. Yes.
Yeah. You know, after the whole season recently passed and everything, you're basically trying to tie together loose ends.
Of course, of course.
Things have been going very, very well for us as well. With my company that I work for and everything.
Of course.
And even though it was a busy day, for some strange reason I was excited.
Of
A bit
course.
nervous, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
A little bit nervous right now.
Honest voices.
But yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But overall, I really appreciate how the day went for me, and I really hope that tonight could just top the icing.
It's okay. Well, it's going to be a conversation, gentlemen, right? No doubt about it, you know. Zico, how you feeling? How was your day, my brother?
Today was the day I decided to get a little R&R, and I got that accomplished. You know, it was a hectic week for me as well.
Okay.
It was a lot under the weather, but, you know, I back up and we're ready to go. I'm just excited about the conversation, discussion. So I had a little R&R, relaxed the brain a little bit.
Beautiful,
I'm ready
beautiful.
to
You come re-energized.
re-energized.
Sounds good. Deal, how you feeling? How was your day today, my brother?
All praises to the universe.
Yes,
Great day,
yes,
fantastic
yes,
day, you know.
yes, 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 yes.
My day, I had challenges,
Of course.
and the challenges came from honest voices from people.
Ah,
You know, this morning,
mhm,
you
mhm.
know, this morning I received a phone call.
Of course.
A gentleman told me, you know, my mom just passed.
Oh,
So
dear.
my condolences, sorry to hear.
Mhm.
He was like, man, shh. My mother was in the hospital and,
Oh, dear.
and you know, she just went 83 years old. So my condolences to Randy and
Condolences.
the entire family. Those persons come from the
Condolences.
and also, you know, condolences to the entire family. Spoke to Randy, and he was a bit frustrated, you know, how his mother was treated, you know, and the issues that he would have experienced in the QDH. So, you know, that is something that the Ministry of Health, I think, need to really, or the government really need to put some eyes on, because we can't just have lives, you know, persons going there for medical aid or medical assistance and can't get the necessary medical assistance. And also, my condolences again to Randy and his family. And then another
Condolences.
issue.
Condolences.
Different phone calls, a lot of phone calls, but one really touched me. I went and I collect my daughter from school, and I just happened to be in some conversation with staff, and the person mentioned to me that they have a security officer that worked for the school for 8 years, and she received a 2-month contract this year. Then there's a janitor that worked 12 years for the school, and this year he only received a 2-month contract. So for me, I am wondering why we have people that is giving so much to our system, and we cannot reward them with a permanent contract. We can give people a 2-month contract after serving for 8 years or 12 years. So you know, like for me, that is a bit disappointing, and that is happening at the last of all school.
Now the question is, you guys need to obviously remind me and confirm this. There are 2 ministers in the Ministry of Health. Underemployment is a serious thing in Barbados amongst the youth, right? Amongst the people of Barbados, right? So, you know, I know for a fact as the program goes on, we will have some more conversation where that is going on. Rasheed.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling, my brother?
I'm good, thankful.
Okay.
Like my good friend said, blessings to give me first, but like, things could be worse, you know?
Of course.
Well, things could be worse.
Of course,
Things
of
could be
course,
worse.
of course.
Today was a bit hectic, but you know, my job as an attorney at law,
Yes.
had a little incident today, so I went and did some work,
Okay.
right? But obviously, it included a young man,
Okay.
and I guess these are topics we're going to be addressing tonight, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm going to start with a broad question. Why is youth participation in this election different from previous election cycles? Why is that?
Well,
I'm going to start with whoever wants to start first. You can go ahead and start first.
well, I know my opening, but
No problem. No problem. The ball swinging, yeah? The ball swinging.
that's a swing. Sorry.
Oh, you can swing too.
I don't play pretty.
You can swing too. No problem.
No, voting at any period of time, once you reach legal age, I believe you should vote. You know they say if you don't vote, don't complain. But as young people, you know, we need to focus and pay attention to what is going on in the country.
Yeah.
We need to pay attention of what we want as a future, because what happens now affect them later on.
Of
So
course.
voting is a contribution to development for the country, but also to themselves.
Of course.
Because they're inviting themselves into a situation where they actually create what goes on in the country, and they affect policy, they affect decisions. So the youth voice should be very strong.
Of course.
And what you would realize is that politics has changed over the last few years.
Of course.
Right? What would that have been accepted before? For example, the whole Sikhs movement. And you know, there was a lot of condemnation initially, but then you realize that some of the more mature and experienced political folk start to buy into what the young people are doing, because the young people are unpredictable and creative. Right? When you reach a certain age, you become a bit fixed in your experiences and what you went through. So you have probably a permanent mindset, so it's a fixed mindset, so to speak. So basically, as a young person, you become creative, become intuitive to the whole situation, and then you get some very interesting ideas. So my advice to all young people is to participate. If you don't vote, don't complain, but don't let that be you.
Kevin, I saw your hand.
Sorry, you.
No problem.
For me, I think that we have been brainwashed with this slogan, youth are the leaders of tomorrow. I don't think we need to be thinking that youth as just the leaders of tomorrow, because technically we are stakeholders in everything that's going on around us today. Yeah? And right now I think the youth need to stop waiting for we turn, like everybody just making this thing sound like, you know what, and you turn yet, let me be it. And in my opinion, I think we live in the consequences of decisions being made already today. Yeah? Basically decisions being made affecting our cost of living, affecting our debt, affecting how we can live, basically affecting climate future, affecting so many different things. Yeah, young people, we already working, we paying taxes, we raising families, we doing everything that they're saying is set up for us in our future. But realistically, we're doing it today already.
Yeah.
So this election is a time for the youth supposed to really come out and show that, you know what, we are stakeholders and we have a say. We need to hear our voices. We need to be able to say what it is that we need, because the future is something that we are going to inherit, you know.
Of course.
And if right now the decisions being made today, what we setting up yourself for?
Of course.
So we need to be in that conversation right now.
I just remember I have this saying, and you guys know very well, the youth is now.
Correct.
So it fits in and it marries well with what you were actually saying. You know, it is very important. But you have to know that they matter. They're important. And
Correct.
as I said in my opening monologue, if you do not vote, you are voting automatically, and by default, you're voting for the representative who is currently in government, right? And I always say that. Dale, why is youth participation in this election different from previous elections?
The youth is the future. And with the future, the youth need to understand how important their vote is, how valuable their vote is. Reason being, in the 2018 manifesto, the Barbados Labour Party spoke about all kinds of youth initiatives. And one of the youth initiatives that they spoke about in the 2018 manifesto, they said that they would put an officer in the area where school children would be congregating. And no, a monitor, sorry, a monitor. They will put a monitor in place where school children would be where school children would be congregating.
Of course.
And when we look across Barbados after 9 o'clock, we look at Whole Town, we look at Black Rock, Calton, we look at Eagle Hall, Main Guard, River Van Stan.
Of course.
We're still seeing young school children on the road.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, right, is that the youth, we really need to understand that the Barbados Labour Party told a big fat set of lies in a manifesto speaking about empowering youth. The only person or the only party that have ever empowered people was the Democratic Labour Party.
Yeah, here.
Because the Democratic Labour Party implemented free education.
Here.
Democratic Labour Party implemented school meals. Democratic Labour Party implemented free bus fare. The Barbados Labour Party has been in power for 8 years, because 8 years everybody qualified for pension in May. And what have they done that has benefited Barbadians? Don't tell me about the 2% increase on the minimum wage, which is $2, because the minimum wage was $8.50 an hour, and now it's $10.50 an hour.
Yeah.
And when you work 40 hours, you're only making $420. And what happened when they raised the minimum wage? You know what happened? They get shorter hours. You know how? I can tell you how. Because you can then work a 6 hour per day across 5 days, as opposed to working that same 8 hours across 4 days, which is a 32-hour week across 5 days. So you're going to spend more on bus fare, and you can be collecting less. So realistically, the Barbados Labour Party put well over the people I raising the minimum wage, but really and truly they inflated the cost of living in Barbados.
Of course. Of course.
So it's very important that the youth, we need to come out and vote. I could have joined the Barbados Labour Party, but I asked myself the question, what have Barbados Labour Party done for our society? I ain't benefit from the bus fare. My sister and other people benefited from the free bus fare.
Of course.
I benefited from the school meals, and I also benefited from the free education. You get me? So, the young people, I urge the young people, when you look at 2025, the crime rate would have been 48 murders. But in Toronto, Canada,
Yeah.
have 7 million people, and their murder rate was 38.
Amazing.
But here in Barbados, where we have 288,000 people, we got a crime rate of 48 murders a year, all young people. In 2024, we have 50 murders, all young people.
Yeah. Yeah.
The government don't care. Because if the government had cared, the pavilions would not be closed. You could get access to certain funding. Why the government got $275 million to give it to international investors, but we got young people that can't start their own business. We have the most brilliant people in Barbados. Excuse me, I am being fair, I'm for advertising patrons, but I have to say, we have some brilliant young people, and we need to invest the same money we can invest into foreign investors. We should invest into our young entrepreneurs, because we got people that can sing, we got people that can dance, we got people that got very good business ideas, we got people that already have business plans, but they don't have the resources. So young people, it is very important that you come out and vote, because the Barbados Labour Party has not shown an easier way for us to survive.
Yeah.
Because when they speak to young people all over Barbados, men can't get word.
Yeah.
Men forced to sell drugs.
Yeah.
People, these guys have degrees, but right now, to start their own business, things are hard. Young people get involved in crime because they're gonna get a paycheck. When a young boy do murder or pull a shooting, he's gonna get praise.
Yeah.
He's gonna get glorified. So again, young people, let me be real. What has the Barbados Labour Party did for our young people for the past 8 years?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I saw some motto: when Labour leads, Barbados succeeds. I think they spelled
Literally.
Yeah. No.
Literally. Succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was saying.
No. Because that's all that is happening.
Yeah.
Because where's the fruit?
Yeah.
There's no fruit. There's bare seeds and ends.
Of course.
Because young children go to school hungry. People go to school, people go to work hungry.
Yeah.
Because the baby going black. I met an old man, I met a man, an elderly man, amputated leg, living on King Street on one of these coach.
Yeah.
I mean, not a coach, a span from the chair.
Yeah.
He gave up his renting a room. He's collecting a pension for $1,000. And because the cost of living is so high in Barbados, he preferred to be on the street, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was saying to myself that the person was unable to spell bleed properly, because I'm saying when Labour leads, remember we spoke about crime. So I told myself the person cannot spell bleed, or they mix up the two words. When Labour leads, Barbados bleeds. We know that young Barbadians, they bleed. So that's what I was saying to myself.
Yeah. I can tell what the young people should vote. One last point. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what the young people should vote?
No, you good. Go ahead.
Why, as a private investor, I could make approximately $500 an evening a day from one minivan. This is a ZR, a 14-seater. If it's a bigger van, I could make a day 3,000, 4,000. All depends on how hot the van is on the road. But the transport board can't make money. You know why the transport board can't make money? Because there's a lady that lives on
She lives. Go ahead. She lives in Barbados.
Santo Domingo
She lives
Alley.
in Barbados.
You get me? Santo Domingo Alley. This is in the Nelson Street area. And her granddaughter called her and said, "Granny, you could believe we had to get off the bus and walk up the hill to Alley." So this is what I'm saying to the young people. The government imported 100 buses, then this not amount of buses. The buses are not efficient and effective, one, and two. And then three, they turn around and sell it, privatize it. So you know what's going to happen to young people? young people will not be able to try to get on the bus for free. You know why? Because I asked a man yesterday, we was in conversation, and I told him, man, I'm glad that the privatize it. We can make some money. I said, I disagree. You know why? Because when you let 40 school children on your bashment van, you will let them go to school for free. He said, no, you mad? That 40 of them, they them at 250.
Yeah.
So the guys so glad that the Barbados never privatize it. Because you know what gonna happen? School children, elderly people, no gonna pay, no gonna suffer. You know what gonna happen? How far we go, we can get charged per distance, per meter. Point blank. So young people, Ralph Thorne, the Honorable Mr. Ralph Thorne, will never do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I concur. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And I concur with Dale as well too. The lovely young lady beside me, what are your thoughts? Why is youth participation in this election different from previous election cycles? I know you're extremely young, but I know for a fact you have been through a lot of election cycles. I know that. You have loads of experience. And I know that. What are your thoughts, Janine Butcher?
I will say to the youth, you would have seen from 2018, don't care how young you are, even if you're not eligible to vote at this time, you should still be watching what is going on in Barbados. Because at some point in time, you will have to make that decision for your life. I will say to them, in 2018, you were promised a whole set of stuff. They still have not come to fruition in this day and age. We were told in the last election that if you vote, you may vote for a government that you would not. Like if you vote for an opposition. We have votes, you did vote again, you gave them all 30 seats again, but you have received 7 years of famine. They said that we had a lost decade, which is completely incorrect. There was no mentioning some of the stuff that the Democratic Labour Party would have done for the youth. One of the things that we would have done at the time too, they have the framework there, they're just not using it. They're just talking about transformation, but they're just giving misinformation every time that they speak to us. In regards to the Democratic Labour Party also produced a national youth policy in 2017. So they have the framework there to help the youth, but they're not doing that. When you go to vote, you also have to think about the cost of living. You have to think about, when you look at the water bill that your mom has to pay, all of these other taxes that are on there, you have the sewage tax to pay. Do you guys have bills at home? Where do you need the sewage tax? Yeah. You also have the situation where Kimar Safri would have spoken today. He's also with them, but he's speaking that also the non-nationals are coming here and he has to put them up. But at the same time, we had a minister telling us to leave, but there are housing non-nationals here and giving them everything that they need. And Kimar Safri is with the Barbados Party, and he's not even ashamed to say that. So if they're so glorious in these years that they have provided to us, why are so many more persons living on the streets?
Of course.
We can also look at the fact that a lot of young people are unemployed. I know they come up with the fancy talks. I know the governor of the Central Bank, you know, he has a good campaign going for himself on social media. However, Barbadians are really suffering behind the glitz and the glamour. The Barbados Party for years have been about optics, yeah? Let's not forget about that. There's just the optics game that is playing, but really and truly, they're scared. They don't care about you, because if they did, they wouldn't have called the election at the last time so early and cut out some of the voters who could have been able to vote at this time. Because calling that election in 2022 would have cut some persons who would be able to vote in the original cycle. So when you're going to vote, you need to think on these things, think about your future. And don't let anyone tell you that you are not important. You are the cause of what is going to happen in this country. And we are currently in a lot of debt, and we can't allow for them to take us through a whole another 5 years again.
Now, I don't want to sound xenophobic. I am not xenophobic. But I saw the comment from Mr. Safri, and I saw under that comment, someone would have commented that, you know, so you're telling me homeless people are coming to Barbados in regard and seeking refuge in Barbados? That is the question that was asked in the comments, you know. And I chuckle a little bit, but this is no laughing matter, I can tell you. But I did chuckle, no doubt about it, but it's no laughing matter, to be honest with you, you know. But this is what we're facing now. I don't know. Right. So I just got to ask this question as well. Now, are young people disengaged, or are they disillusioned at this point? What is going on with the young people in regards to the voting? That's the question.
Yes. Even before we get to that, I would love to touch on the first one as well.
Apologies,
The
yes.
word that you used was what's different. I don't like that, because different could also mean good.
Yeah.
And we know we hear the slogan, you know, the youth of today, but it's tomorrow's future. And they also too have, you know, I don't like it. I don't like to hear it, because there is a connotation which excludes today. What are they doing today in terms of the policy, or they contributing to the policy? And when we look around, when we look at the government borrowing, the mismanagement of money, it's actually stealing the inheritance from the youth today, because they have to pay back some more. The cost of living is already high. When we have the borrowing and the mismanagement, that collaboration spells disaster for the youth. So getting youth to get involved in terms of the cultivating, and then in terms of the policies, and in terms of the direction is very important. Having them play a role. So when we have youth, and then with the social media era, now we have information. So you know there's a lot of misinformation, and you know, depending how you look at it. So it's very important. So the youth now getting more involved, and I believe that politics is getting more popularized, you know, more mainstream, as I would say. You know, people seeing it, people getting caught up with the personalities and what's not. And the current administration, they're very famous for that. You know, the optics and the personalities, not necessarily the policies, the youth. And the youth, when we look at today's, even the newspaper, we see so many young men going to prison. So many young men going to prison. And if the youth does not get involved, we're going to lose this generation and many generations to come because of the cost of living. So if youth don't get involved, going to the polls, voting, making their voices be heard, and letting them know, well, listen, it is not tomorrow. It is not because it's hurting us now. Those who are going to prison, they probably will never get the chance to actually let the voices be heard by actually voting, you know. So stepping up and doing what is necessary now is very important for you. So I would encourage any young person out there, get involved in politics, listen, learn what's the policies, learn what's the bills being passed, and get involved in what is going on in Barbados, because it's very, very, very important, and you don't want to miss this process. You don't want somebody making decisions for you that they're probably going to pass in the next couple of years, that you have to live on, your children have to live on, have to deal with the consequences of the mismanagement of this current administration. So getting involved is very important, and I would advise any young person to do it and getting, you know, what's going on today.
Well, I just want to say, Zico, I really admire your work, and I want you to continue to stay strong.
Appreciate it.
Strength will be needed. Right? There's going to be a lot of opposition, and you must stay strong, Zico. And I want to compliment you and tell you to keep up the good work.
I appreciate it.
Keep that voice going. Make sure that voice continues to be heard. All right? But again, the other question, or you know,
yes, any
one
question
thing,
was,
no problem. Are young people disengaged? Or are they disillusioned?
Yes, this is basically the same coin, just the other side of that same coin as well. You know, then there's some people who have lost hope. You know, seeing the current affairs and seeing what is happening, they've lost hope, believe that they have no influence, they have no input. You know, based on what they're seeing, they don't know how to influence it. So most of them just gives up when it comes to the whole voting process, and they just, you know, they don't know where next to turn. They don't know how to do it. And this is why platforms like these are very important. And the DLP is very important, because they speak up and they encourage them to get involved and to make sure that, and showing them how they can influence the Barbados now and tomorrow as well. So I do believe it is. We have to change it. It's a must. We can no longer turn a blind eye to it. And the sad thing about it is that I think young people look at the older folks for the ones to be the leaders, for the ones to impact change, for the ones to come up with the solutions. And then there's another subgroup that believes that, no, y'all doing a horrible job. It's time for me to step up. It's time for me to stand up, put my hand in the air and say, well, listen, hear my voice. You know, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what we need as a country. And I am seeing that more. So there's there's a subset, there's two groups, same coin, there's two different sides of the coin. And yeah, so pretty much that's it.
Yeah. What I can say and what I will say is that the Barbados Labour Party has been successful. They have been successful in turning the word hope, a positive word hope, into a negative connotation. I have never seen that in the history of Barbados, or as long as I have been living. I now have to say light at the end of the tunnel. I have to go all the way around the roundabout. I can't just say
It's
hope.
good. The reason why it's good because sometimes you have to tear down something to build it back up.
There we go.
So
There we
if
go.
people could see it for themselves,
Yeah.
people could see the mismanagement, people
Yeah.
could see the things that they've been doing for the past. She said, vote for me or watch me. We've been watching very diligently, and now I think it's time to tear it all the way down and rebuild.
Yeah, thank you. Well
And
done.
I've seen the DLP at work. I've seen the building blocks being put in
Yeah.
place, and I must commend every single one here today who've been working along and who've been talking to the youth and getting in the community, listening, and having that listening voice, not just speaking, but listening voice, and be helping in whatever way necessary.
Yeah.
I think that is very, very important. So yes, sometimes it's good to watch people destroy themselves, and then we go and rebuild.
Yeah, and it is actually going to be remiss of me not to ask, right? What are your thoughts about our top ladies here?
Wonderful.
Youth Ignite Weekend.
The first word comes to my mind, wonderful.
Yeah.
I think I admire her courage,
Yes.
her bravery.
Yes.
I admire the passion that she has for young
Yes.
people as well.
Uh-huh.
I admire that once she has an idea, she
Of course.
works on it repeatedly. She
Of
puts
course.
the pressure upon herself. She's a perfectionist.
Yes.
And the reason why she's such a perfectionist is not for self-glory. It's because she understands how important it is
Yeah.
to Barbados at large.
Uh-huh.
And she knows it's bigger than her. And once you have somebody
Yeah.
representing you, that understand it is bigger than me.
Yeah.
It is bigger than me, Janine Butcher.
Of course.
You know, that is the person you want leading you.
Of
Because
course.
leaders create great leaders, and we're seeing it here in
Yeah.
Asha today.
I think it was fantastic.
Yes.
You know that she has a business voice and a personal voice. You know that? You know that, right? A business voice and a personal voice. Yes, of course. You know, it's very forceful business voice.
Yes, she does.
But then she's also very pleasant. You know, very, very nice young
And
lady.
she has the balance, which is good. She
There we
has
go.
the balance
Yes.
of being very
Yes.
passive and it's time to be passive,
Yes.
but having that authority
I love
and,
it.
you know, and that forcefulness that is
love it.
necessary in this
Yeah, only in the young Democratic Labour Party. Only in the Democratic Labour Party. You know. Yes, Rasheed.
Yes, I just want
Yes,
to follow
sir.
on from what Zico was saying, because he made a very important point in
Of
terms
course.
tearing down and rebuilding.
Mhm.
And let us just be a bit realistic. The last 7 years, obviously, the BLP was in government and they would have basically dominated because there wasn't any opposition, so to speak. It was only last year when our leader came into play and,
You're here.
and the party started to restructure and rebrand
Here,
and
here.
image. So what young people would be accustomed to up
Of
to
course.
now would be the propaganda or
Of course,
the
of
images
course.
what the government would be putting out. So in terms of tearing down, anime forums like this that needs to continue is a necessity right now. It's something to put our message out there. Obviously, we're in a digitized age with social media.
Of course.
And it's a way for us to connect to most young people because, like I said, politics change over what. One time a spot meeting probably would be called, you will see hundreds of people coming down. because
course.
It wouldn't be no other way to communicate to the population. So getting to that spot meeting was a necessity. Now we have Instagram, you got Instagram Live and Facebook Live, so you don't have to be there. So our forum in connecting with the young people is social media,
Yeah.
hands down.
Yeah.
So in terms of rebuilding, we tear down what was put in front of these young people, and now we as the young Democrats, we get to put out our own structures, we get to put out our own messages, and we get people to follow us. The question you would have asked is, if young people are
Disengaged
right?
or disillusioned. Yeah.
No, I just want to make a general point, not a political point.
Go ahead, no
DLP,
problem.
but
Of course.
you have to let us appreciate that for years there's been a culture where following up to the ending of the electoral process, meaning when elections are being called, you see a lot of things happening where resources are being put out, let me say roads being paved,
Yeah.
things being issued out, gifts, etc., etc. So it's become a culture over the years where when you see certain things happening, you know, an election coming, right? And you got to appreciate that if you live in a certain place and you view it as a citizen, you mean for 3 or 4 or 5 years they're suffering, and then all of a sudden elections coming up and resources coming out. You know, it has a lasting impact on persons that only time I can see some sort of help coming from a politician is every election. And I think it's our job as Young Democrats to change that culture, not just a B or D, but let me say when the Democratic Labour Party comes into power, and you could believe you in the government where you want to keep resources and allow your community to suffer, and then only put out these resources when elections are, or you're about to announce your elections. No, I will not stand for that foolishness, because I believe that the community should be helped. If you have access to resources, because building and paving a road is no simple feat. It takes resources, and it takes capital, and it takes money. So we were saying that every election cycle, these things just magically come out. So we need to embrace these communities and help them, not only coming up to the electoral deadline.
Of course.
So it's a culture, I think, that as Young Democrats, we have to change. When we get into power, it's something that we have to educate our young people on to change the culture of politics and change the politicians, because they vote for us and we serve them.
Yeah.
They don't serve us.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that is very important, you know.
Very.
We are servants of the people, or we should be servants of the people.
Yes.
They don't serve us.
Okay.
Mr. Rowe.
I love the last point.
Mr. Rowe.
Servants of the people.
It's true.
So, I got a quick question to ask. So, if we're supposed to be servants of the people, why our students continuously have to start the term with in a facility that is not clean? Schools don't be clean. Quick example. For the past 4 weeks, the Lester Vaughan administration office has not been cleaned in 4 weeks.
Sorry, Dale, I just want to stop you there for a second. I think I actually saw that one of the ministers of education, I think they got 6 now, 6 or 7? 2, good. He came out and he advised everything was spotless, and fantastic.
Correct. But you know that
on the first day.
You know, this morning,
Yeah.
teachers refused to go into the staff quarters at the Lester Vaughan School.
Why is that, Dale? Why? Tell us.
Because, look, you have the building locked up.
Yeah.
Nobody ain't cleaning it. These people are on vacation. And we you expect at some point you're going to build more. You got all kinds of things. You just close the school. When you're going to reopen, make sure that staff quarters, because at the end of the day, what we are here to do, what was Rasheed's finishing point?
To serve.
Serve the people.
To be servants.
So we cannot have teachers and staff working and uncomfortable. How are these persons, get me the secretary, the janitors, the cleaners, the security officers, every single staff at the school, we cannot have these people uncomfortable? How are these people going to be able to pour into our children, which is our future? We have to serve our people. So you're trying to tell me, what the person that usually do the stuff, going on vacation, and you, the person that managing the operation, can't find, another person to replace that person? You know, vacation or schedule. Vacation is something that's scheduled. So you know this. You know this is reopening the school. So why is it that this Barbados Labour Party government is the only government that always fail to open these schools correctly? I remember
Go ahead.
under the Democratic Labour Party, that never happened. Let me do the math and let me jog with memory. That never happened under the Democratic Labour Party, ever. But all of a sudden, after 2018, every year, the schools open,
Of course.
the school have a problem.
Of course. And Dale, I got to ask you a question. Isn't Lester Vaughan a school? The last time I checked.
I'm not sure.
I got to ask you another question. Didn't the Minister of Education, or one of them, didn't he mention that everything was good to go the first day of school? So I am dumbfounded. I am confused out of my mind. I don't understand this particular situation, dear.
So young people looking in, why should I want to go and work as a teacher? Why should I want to use my degree to go and work in an environment that is not healthy for me?
Yeah.
These people have families. So when these people got this high doctor bill or got doctor bills, you think that we can care?
Of course.
Let me be real. If a teacher pass, secretary pass, a janitor pass, all we can do in the group is go to a funeral, make condolences, but who will really deal with the funeral bill? Let me ask that question. So we can't have people that lead in this country with some kind of consideration in the head like, yo, this is people, this is a human life. Let us make sure that all these facilities are clean and safe. But we're going to want to kill small businesses for certain requirements as it relates to health and safety. You get me? We're going to have, example, let me use crop over. Crop over, you guys going to come, you know, and do the inspection to make sure that you pass. And if you don't pass, you are meet your requirements. So why these persons, health officers, what's called them? Help me. The
Inspectors.
Health inspectors. Health inspectors come around to make sure that everything is in place before you can get the approval to actually operate your stall. So why these same health inspectors or other people can't go around to the small number of primary and secondary schools to make sure that the facilities are clean for our people that have to manage the school and our pupils. Let me be real. A caring government would not open a school or let a school open and clean. You get me? If you care with the children, because look, I overheard the news yesterday yesterday or this morning that A&E under bare pressure, 63 people waiting to see medical assistance. So everything have a ripple effect. Them don't clean the offices at the last of us. Look, some lady, they brought somebody to clean the office, and the person cleaning with Clorox.
Yeah.
I started to laugh.
Yeah.
They was cleaning with Clorox, and they was stronger Clorox. A man went home, somebody went home, you know, blister up, and people had sinus issues. Man, come on, man. Let me have a heart. This is the second week that school in progress, you know, week 2. And we can't get right at the last of our school.
Yeah, it appears that obviously you're being honest, and you know, someone is not being honest based on the communication the minister would have put out there to the public. And to my mind, one minister plus one minister in the Ministry of Education should equal to 2 if you talk about schools, but it appears it is equal to 0 now. And we go back to, you mentioned the Ministry of Health, 2 ministers in the Ministry of Health, 1 minister plus 1 minister, again 0. So we add 0. I'm trying to understand, and math is the thing.
We like to blame people when things don't go right. But man to man, I just want to congratulate Mr. Corey Lane for what he have done in the time he was there, because he only played the cards that he were dealt. So we on the sideline looking, we can say, yo, well, he could do something different, or she could do something different. So Ramon, you ever play any sport? Cricket?
Of course.
So people in the stands will be telling you what you could do.
Of course.
When them sing down. But when you there actually on the pitch called face that ball, you, that individual, could only play the cards that you were dealt.
Yeah.
So Mr. Lane did what he could do.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the time that he spent there. But what I'm going to say now, right, is that we need people that actually connected to the people and really care about the people. You get me? Because he could have made certain decisions on his own. You know, under the leadership of Mr. Ralph Thorne, you know, we implemented a lot of initiatives in the city. Yeah. And I had 100% support Mr. Thorne is not a dictator.
Yeah.
That's my point. I'm getting that. Everything that I did in the city so far, the free haircuts, the back to school, the books, the bikes, the toy drive, the fair, I mean, everything. Mr. Thorne supported it. Mr. Thorne supported the young people with the
Of course.
6 moving.
Of course, of course, of course.
When 6 moving hit the market, everybody had a problem with it. But Mr. Thorne supported it. So I'm saying is that Mr. Lane had the cards that he were dealt, and he tried his best.
Yeah.
So if his best, you know, we have to give him some kind of praise, some kind of thanks. You get me? But however, I am urging all people in the city that watching and that listening, we don't need a true representative, and they can be our true representative.
Yeah.
I ain't here for no fame or money. You get me? I here to inspire real change.
Here.
Real change.
Yeah.
Inspired young people.
Of course.
Correct.
Right. And as you mentioned, Mr. Thorne, one of the attributes of a good leader is someone who knows how to delegate duties. Mr. Thorne, he knows how to delegate. You know, he trusts his people every single time, right? So that's the major difference. You know, he's not a micromanager at all.
Yeah, but you know,
Yes,
Ramon,
please.
leadership comes by 2 ways, either fear or respect. So
Yeah.
you determine which one you want to lead by. Lead by fear, you get rebellion.
Yeah.
Lead by respect, everyone cherishes. And that is the way that Mr. Thorne has folded and molded his leadership style to for us, the young Democrats, and for the party.
Yeah. You know that Mr. Thorne continues to give the young people in the party a proper voice, a decent voice, and I appreciate that a lot. You know, in a serious
I
way.
also appreciate him inquiring about whether anyone was hungry today. I don't know if he was in Parliament today.
Oh, I saw that.
He was
I saw
very
that as well.
concerned about
Yes,
the health
of course. Of course, nutrition is important.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Nutrition is very important. Very, very
You know,
important.
sometimes when you hear something that you don't
Yeah.
really want to hear, you'll find some excuse just to get away from it.
Of course, of course.
So it goes something.
So, big up to Mr. Thorne. No doubt about it. Big up to Mr. Thorne. And we admire the fact you continue to do well in Parliament, continue to, you know, advocate on behalf of the what? The people of Barbados.
Honest voices.
Honest voices for the people.
We know he's there by himself right now, but in short order, that should change.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, and a fantastic leader knows how to follow as well too. That is a very good comment. Thank you, Patricia Green. Thank you very much. Yes, and before we go on to the comments, obviously, you ain't get me, Kevin. You ain't get me. You ain't get me, my brother. Okay, no problem. Okay, the young people being disengaged or disillusioned.
Well,
Talk to me, brother.
I don't personally like to blame the young people because body basically is only as good as the head. And for the young persons, if you are force-fed or nurtured with certain information, you can only follow one due to that.
Yeah.
So for me, when it comes to the young persons, we have been sold this lie that as long as we're able to go out and party, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Once Machel Montana come around, once all the Jamaican artists come around, everything is fine and dandy in Barbados right now. That is what we have been force-fed. So what happened? I call it glitter in the eyes. The current administration has this very good technique, this ninjutsu, yeah, of just putting glitter in person's eyes, making people believe that, you know what, everything is shining, everything is gold, optics and illusions right now. So I don't like to blame the young persons, but unfortunately, yes, they are disillusioned. They really believe that, you know what, everything is okay as long as I can work my 9 to 5, collect minimum wage, because you know what, I still live in the house with my mom.
Yeah.
I still live in the house with my dad. So bills getting shared, bills getting paid. I don't have to be adult as yet. I am
Of
still
course.
a youth. You know? So at the end there, once I could enjoy myself, everything is okay. I don't care about politics. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. But you know what? I gonna vote for the people that make me feel good at the moment.
At the moment.
At the moment, the no people. That is what to call them. But realistically, as we spoke about earlier,
Yeah.
we are going to inherit everything that is left behind when the older generation moves on.
Of course.
And what is being left behind for us?
That's the question.
I was watching some news the other day, and I don't know if Bajans really understand the level of debt the country in right now. Seriously, the level of debt that the country in. And if there's one thing I know about that, it has to be paid.
Yeah.
Who pays it? Anybody can tell me who pays it?
Us.
We
Yeah. That's
have to
correct.
pay.
That's
And I'm
correct.
just talking about the
Children,
adults
children.
or the older or more mature persons. We that got the same 9 to 5s right now.
Of course.
Every tax we gotta pay that's be going towards this. I know that we are going to speak about the economy soon at some point.
Of course.
But again, back to the illusion, back to the glitter. Last year, I think it was, I saw they started something on CBC TV, where the Governor General, they said Governor of the Central Bank, sorry, Mr. Greenwich, was doing this, what it is and what it means. That was the best magic show I ever saw in my life. Why? Because he spoke about certain topics, and in my mind, it was very entertaining. Don't get me wrong, you know, he come out, I act like if he's one of the people, you know, like I in the ram shop and I talking to a person. But what he does, he speaks superficially. He speaks surface level on
Yeah.
certain topics, like the GDP, for instance.
Yeah.
The economy.
Yeah.
The economy is rising. The economy is getting better. What does that mean? But he doesn't break it down enough for persons, yeah, at the bottom level to understand what he really means.
Yeah.
But for me, personally, what is happening is that, yes, the economy is booming. Things are happening. But what the GDP really made up of? It made up of the money person spending in Barbados that is taxable. It made up of investment money from investors. It made up of in exports, which we don't have much that we export. So when you look at the full breakdown of the GDP, most of the money that Barbados is making is coming from out of our pockets. And when I say our, again, I'm not speaking about the more seasoned persons in Barbados. I'm talking about us that's in our on this panel right now.
Yeah.
I don't know about you all, but right now I brag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I brag. And you know why I brag? Because, alright, Christmas season just passed. You enjoy yourself a little bit. Bills got to pay. Food got to buy. Cost of living is very, very, very high in Barbados. Yet still, again, they keep saying to us, the economy booming. But us at the bottom level, where are we seeing it? Where it booming for me? Where it booming for you? Where we getting this extra? Where we seeing the fallback? We're probably seeing the, you know, the trickle-down effect. Ain't happening.
Yeah.
But somehow they get on the stage and they can somehow make us believe, you know what? Things going good. We all right. We don't need to worry.
Of course.
We got this. Who is we? I don't feel like if it's part of we. I don't feel like if it's part of the family. I ain't feeling it. I am not feeling it. And this is so far I realize that youth, as again, get disillusioned because, you know what, they were blindsided. Because, you know what, when they start to feel frustrated, or when the youth start to feel frustrated, throw a party, let you enjoy yourself for a night,
Yeah.
everything fine and daddy, go and work hard the next week. Check me next month.
Yeah.
Other than that, ain't nothing else that's showing right now. But the youth ain't seeing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
The youth is not seeing this. And the only way that we really could speak it out or we could really show that, you know what, we don't agree with what's going on right now is by punishing people that give us promises that they're not keeping.
Yeah.
I ain't idea this is 7 years. And there are certain things that were in the manifesto from 7 years ago for the current administration that right now I ain't see come to pass. Why questions, why the youth ain't standing up there and raising their voices? I am not asking anybody to be disrespectful. I ain't asking anybody to condone violence. I ain't asking any of these things. But to really take a time out to just sit down and say to myself, hey, you know what? what we really, as you said earlier, what we really gained for the last 7 years,
Yeah.
what we as Bajans, as Barbadians, really gained for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
And ain't that much to show?
Yeah, of course. I want to just go to a comment here from Shirley, 4852. Things are happening and the people continue to cry out regarding the high cost of living. Crime, no jobs, and the list goes on. And the lady there, lovely lady, she's always one of the people who comment. Patricia Green, you talking truth, Mr. Cadogan. You're doing a good thing, buddy. You're doing a good thing. But you mentioned, you know, the acting of Mr. Greenwich. I think that he should be awarded an Emmy. I really do think so. You know, an Emmy because I believe the Emmys are for the TV shows from what I can remember. The Oscars is for the movie. The skits are not very long, so you put them in the category, obviously, of a short TV show. But he should be given an Emmy. Anyhow, as we refocus, Janine. Yes, ma'am. Disengage or disillusion? What do you think?
To me personally, I think that the youth are currently frustrated. They, in beginning, you know, young persons we didn't have the digital technology back in 2018 as much to, you know, to be able to break down stuff. But I'm seeing that they're more engaged right now on the digital platform. They are also speaking out and they're breaking things down. So the world that we're over there is that we would have thought that they would have had at the same period, even with the parties, it's beginning to come down.
Yeah.
For me, I would like to say to the youth that the promise of the Barbados Labour Party, it reminds me of an old pear tree. The leaves might look green, but the roots are indeed rotten.
Yeah.
And they're indeed an infection to Barbados.
Yeah.
You know, a pear tree,
Good
when we
one.
talk about a pear tree, I want them to go to their phones right now and just look
I
at
like
an
that.
old pear tree.
I like that.
And you will see that the infection starts, you don't really see it, but the roots are already beginning to become rotten. You're going to see it getting brownish. It's going to get red as well, and it's going to continue to bleed.
Oh, no, not red.
As this country right now is bleeding on
Not
this
red for
government.
me.
Right, so you know that we really have to sit down and really think about the choices that are being made. But I just, for one thing, I don't think they're disillusioned at all because I'm seeing this speaking on social media.
Of course.
And but we cannot allow this infection to continue. It has started, and we don't want the whole tree to break down.
Of course, lovely. Thank you. Mr. Rowe, what are your thoughts? Disillusioned or disengaged? Talk to me, my brother.
Honestly, young people, a lot of young people all over Barbados basically tired, frustrated. The man said like, yo, I'm voting. And if the people say that voting, man said, how did you pay me? They get me? That's the first question that young people say, how did you pay me?
Again, the culture that has been developed
Correct.
in the last
Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah, the last 7 years that's the culture. So you know what I can tell the young people, like, a man tell me, man, pay me $500 to vote. So I can tell the man, like, big brother,
Break it
if
down
you
there.
want me to give you $500,
Break
no
it down
problem.
there.
But ask yourself, does it really benefit? Does it will it really benefit you in the long run? $500? Because I tell you that these people don't come with a $500 bill. You divide the 500 by 5 years is $100 a year, and you divide the $100 by 12 months is $8.33 a month. So is your value $8.33 a month? Ask yourself that question, young people. You get me? If somebody want to, if you want to give your vote on the policies that the individual or the party is going to be bringing, that the party will bring for sure, not the fluff in the 2018 manifesto. That ain't happen.
I never get a big drink for $8.30.
And let me be real. To go by parent always Air Force, you running $400. So young people, don't let them. This time around when they come with the $500 bill, take the money. Get me? But don't vote for them.
Yeah.
We will,
I can be honest.
as responsible young Democrats, we wouldn't encourage buying, but what we would say is that if the other side provide any remuneration for any services, what we would say is that as they're perfectly calculated, you are narrowing your vote down to $8.33. And we need you to value your vote more than that. We need you to look at your vote as education, health, and social well-being. Not just $100 or $25, like you said. I don't know because I don't get involved in that. But it would say, if that is the going rate, what it would say to you is that you need to really look past what is being dangled in front of you and look at a more long-term solution for your life. And what we are providing over here at the Young Democrats is long-term solutions, long-term development for young people, jobs, opportunities, and hopefully a reduction in the cost of living. But that would only come through a shift in culture and a shift in how we, our social consciousness at this stage in life. You know, we got to move away from the working bags and the euro and start focusing on, but what we like to say, bricks and sand, right? We get our young people focusing on building houses, building Airbnbs, investing in businesses, and making some money and helping the economy so that we can live comfortable and we won't go worry with the homeless, suffering taking care of the homeless people from overseas.
Excellent, excellent, Rasheed. I want to go to some comments now. Mavis Lashley, the youth need to ask themselves a question. And when they do that, they need to look around at their environment as well, too. Yeah, but you shouldn't sell your vote. This is from Monica Aitz. Good night to you, Monica Aitz. Monica Aitz 3648. Once again, another fantastic night with Monica Aitz. You shouldn't sell your vote. It's a privilege to be able to cast your vote. Lovely. Excellent. I want to start with you, Rasheed. I want to ask you, young people often, well, I can make a statement first and then they can ask you.
Yes, sir.
Young people often hear the economy is improving. What are your thoughts as a young person?
Well, I'm like, we are more in tune with politics.
Yeah.
So when you hear the economy is growing, obviously you could deem that as more growth.
Yeah.
Because you're alluding to the fact that the economy is growing,
Excellent.
or the economy is being good, which should result in me living comfortably, right? Or majority of the citizens living comfortably, not majority of the citizens living paycheck to paycheck. Comfortable living mean that all your bills paid, right? All your expenses taken care of, and you have some sort of disposable income. Nowadays, you find people don't have that disposable income because they work and what we call a 9-to-5 job, and still end up selling chips and chicken on a Friday, or bringing in stuff from overseas to sell, or setting up little trays. You know, or like some young people find themselves at the mercy of drug lords and end up flying in with stuff, vegetable matter in their suitcases. So what I would say is that we deem it more growth, right? Because it's not trickling down into a reduction in prices in the market. It's not trickling down to a reduction in gas prices. And you know, young people buying a lot of cars now. Even after buying hybrids, after you hit over the, I think it's the 20 or the 30 kilometer mark, you can kick into gas. So you still got to pay for gas.
Of course.
Right? The sewage tax, the solid waste tax coming in on the water bill. You don't know how to calculate. One month you're saying $34, next month you're saying $60-something.
Of course.
So the economy is I don't know how to sell it, but we as a party, and I have a good friend in this party, his name is Andrew Kim. We attended his spot meeting, his very successful spot meeting the other day. But he raised, we were in a meeting and he raised something. At first, I wasn't into it, but in deep reflection, he said that we should learn to live and rule in love. And I feel that is something that we should consider, even though it's in the economy. Are we making policies? We make it in love in the sense that you're looking out for the fellow man, you're looking out for those who can't maintain themselves over a certain bracket, you're looking out for those like people that went through COVID and can't even get back on their feet, you're looking out for those people, and those people now would have been young and coming into their younger age.
Of
so
course.
in my opinion, they may say that the economy is good, but I deem it to be more growth because it's not resulting in actual reduction in the cost of living or being able to help persons to maintain themselves and purchase from the supermarkets. I don't want to run over my time because I don't want my friend Dale to get jealous, all right? What I realize that is a lot of information your panelists have to put out there, and we're happy that the people online are indulging and embracing it. So, like you said, Mark, growth, code, yellow.
Before you go on,
Yes,
Rasheed.
yes, sir. You have another question?
Monica, no, that's all right. Monica ain't 3-6 for you. Rasheed, when are you gonna come and walk on our new road? I think this is Lancaster, Lancaster, yeah? Gaston Lane. It's one of a kind. The Barber Green ran out. Talk to me, Rasheed. Talk to Monica.
Well, Monica, what I would say is that I don't know if your Barber Green got there by chance of climate change, but we can see everything is being narrowed down to climate change. Yeah. But what I would say to you is that we would come and walk on your Barber Green and test it. For any potholes. We will put ourselves at risk because there's a strong possibility that we may fall into one. Right? Given the mismanagement and given the poor.
I only want liability insurance, you know.
Remember, this government bleed everything, so bleed the insurance, bleed the roads, bleed cost of living, just bleed. So what we intend to do for you, Monica, we could come and walk on that Barber Green and test it for you, right? Because we don't want to move from 6 and moving to potholes and moving, or potholes and stay.
Dipping. As you mentioned dipping, I remember, I can't remember if it was a year ago or a couple months ago. Probably not a couple months ago. A young man, he was having a bath in one of the potholes. You guys remember that? Yeah, he used one of the potholes as a tub.
Yeah. And
I remember
in
that.
this day and age, people do skits, and I think that was a great way.
Yeah.
See, you didn't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
The mere fact that you, as a adult, able-bodied man, fit in a hole in the ground.
Of course.
Which is supposed not to be there.
Yeah.
That's a telling sign that the roads are in shambles.
I didn't know if he had liquid soap or bar soap there, but I know he was taking a good old bath. Anyhow, as we refocus, Dale. Yes, please.
Now, on that same topic, that is Ainsley Granger constituency.
Wow.
And the guy, you know, the MTW came, they get the road, left it, they had all that rainfall. And the guys decide to, you know, show up Barbados what really going on.
Well, this is the same as the Granger that the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the voters said that he was dead.
Yeah.
He's alive now?
Yeah,
he's alive?
now.
Okay.
Thanks to God.
Yes, he's alive now. Beautiful.
Yeah,
All right, yeah. So, young people often here, before I go on, Mavis Lashley, yes please, a lady was on blast stats yesterday saying the minimum wage she has to send home some of her employees and keep warm because her light bill and water bill is too costly, so she can't pay them. Economy improving, you know, that's the question you're gonna ask. Dale, the economy, is it improving? The young people, the seeing it improving? Talk to me, my brother.
Let me be real. And let us put ourselves not as a politician. Let us put ourselves as a normal citizen. When you go to the gas station, or you go in the supermarket, or you go in the fish market, or you go in Massey, don't care where you go, look around, watch people. You ever saw anybody putting that stuff when they get to the countertop?
You're saying it more than ever now, yes.
You ever see people, you know, I never thought I would have seen the day that a guy chose to live on the street so that he can buy medication and food.
Unfortunate.
Let me be real. There are people that can't pay water bill and light bill. It's too high. It's really high. So when politicians speak about the economy, you know, people don't really focus or tune into that because at the end of the day, everybody in survival mode. Survival mode is where all of our young people state of mind is. Survival mode meaning a young 15-year-old just expelled out of school, no CXCs, his mother working on minimum wage, 2 or 3 siblings, younger siblings. He then go get involved in gambling.
Oh dear.
Because let me be real, who will hire him? at 50 with no CXCs.
And just to add to your point about survival as well, right? As you can see, a lot of young people are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing.
Unfortunately.
And look, we don't even have to cast negative aspersions on anyone. If you read the paper for the last few weeks, most of the persons who appeared before the law courts were around 20, in the teens, or the early 20s. So survival mode is a real term, very real term for most Barbadians right now, for most young people. And if you remember, the government at one point in time wanted us to be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
Right? But if you realize the young people are more, we're more educated and advanced now. Yeah? So we understand parenthood, we understand the financial burden of parenthood.
Yeah.
Some persons who don't have children will hear other persons who complaining about the burdens they have, whether both parents are contributing or not. What I'm trying to say is that we are aware that we can't just procreate and create more children and inflict a more deadly financial burden on ourselves.
Of course.
So survival mode doesn't only means going out there and probably doing illegal things to survive. Survival mode means that we're actually thinking about the decisions we're making for the future. It's easier to manage one child or two children. And back in the days, you're going to get 6 children and that's it. And I had made a point a time back on DLP TV that when you move from the village into the developments, you lose the village, you lose the community aspect of the village. And why you say that is that back in the day, you would have had children running around in the community and other parents behaving like a parent, telling the child, don't do this, don't do that, or showing some sort of leadership. No, you get a sense of, don't speak to my child. Do whatever you want, don't talk to my child. Whatever my child doing, you come and tell me. You see, and if you do that, you give a false sense of how to operate around people. Only my mother or my father can tell me what to do. So it has a lot to do with culture and thinking, and we're procreating, and I got no money. We just saying, right?
Yeah.
Survival mode. Survival mode.
Yeah.
For me personally, I was trying my hardest as I was sitting here listening to all the conversations to be the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Be the current administration's advocate. I think what may have happened, right, is that the dictionary, the Oxford dictionary that we grew up reading and, getting our vocabulary from, may have been erased, and now we're using what you call a Bayesian dictionary, where the word taxes became a synonym for better economy. In terms of, we keep speaking about a better economy, the economy growing, the economy rising, but ain't taxes that rising? And that we pay more to the government right now to make sure that all of the obligations that the government made with external or international entities,
of course,
get recognized.
Yeah.
So maybe we may be wrong. Maybe we are wrong and we just ain't seeing the other picture.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word better picture or bigger picture, but the other picture. Because we sitting here speaking about how hard things are, how much we're struggling, how $100 can't get me a good 2 plastic bags in the supermarket, but they are saying the economy is getting better. And people seem to be agreeing because 7 years. So, maybe got a deal, Rasheed. Zico, man, he was a mad at the reason.
Of course, well, you were peeping.
The dictionary changed and I didn't realize.
You're 100% correct, and I agree with it. Especially for somebody who, even until yesterday, I spent a lot of time in the prison system, in juvenile prison system, doing behavioral therapy. And I talk to a lot of youth. I mean, the numbers are growing exponentially. I mean, like, the numbers are growing. If I left this week, when they come on next week, with a bigger group, we run them to cheers, even in our complex. And the sad thing about it is that we're hearing that the economy is growing, but people will believe what they see more than they hear. And me sitting down and talking to these young people, people like to say, the love of money is the root to all evil. I think the lack of money is the root to the majority of the crime and evil within this country. And we're seeing it every single day, and it's influencing these young people to go to their way to try to provide even for their family. We tend to see them as just bad boys and old man, they just want to do this and they just want to do that, but the reality of it is that they see the devastation within the mother and the father. Some of them sick, some of them can't go to the hospital, and even if they go to the hospital, we see how the hospital looking right now. And if you're going to judge a country based on its results, we need to look at the pillars such as healthcare, we need to look at the pillars such as education, judicial system, policing. And we look at these systems, it is eroding, it is deteriorating at a rate I've never seen before. So what the current administration have decided to do is like, cool, we can plaster over it. You know, we can portray that everything is good. We can have some parties and get people to ignore it, and get people to ignore the pain, but the reality is the pain is still there. She said earlier that it's a cancer, it's like a disease, and that is exactly what it is. You could pretend that you don't have a disease, but the disease is still there. And we're seeing it now. The crime is a byproduct of that same said disease. The young people being led astray is a byproduct of that same said disease. The people sleeping on the floors in the QEH is a byproduct of that same said disease. The prison wardens at the prison not being paid, even since COVID, as a byproduct of that same said disease. And then these are the people who say that they care. These are the people who say, give me my vote and watch me. But when we watch you, this is what we're seeing. So you cannot then say that the economy is getting better when the main pillars of this country, is deteriorating at such a rate that is becoming so scary. And in talking to these young people, they're losing their humanity because they believe nobody cares for them. Or once you come to a place where you believe that nobody cares for you, you will no longer care for others as well. So when you tell people like this, well, the economy is getting better, but then you go home and then your mother have to sacrifice and can only feed one child a day. Or you can eat today and tomorrow your brother can get something to eat. I can't get a lunch money today, so I don't know if you want to skip school and send school the other one. This is the harsh reality that Barbados is facing today. Nobody talks about it. And then you want to then scale it and say we're improving. How are we improving? Are we improving in terms of the optics? Are we improving in terms of how we manipulate the numbers to say, well, yeah, look at the numbers. But when we look at these situations, when we go, we sit down, we talk to the people within our community, and we ask them, how is your reality? And this is how we have to base our country, on the realities of these people. At the worst, because we're as strong as the worst. And if the worst is not having it that good, and we're going there, we're seeing them, and we're seeing they crying out, we're seeing them begging for help, and begging for assistance, and begging for a caring ear. And they're being neglected with bluff and changing the narrative and using the media to paint pictures to insult people, and then you come and say, well, yes, but you know what? You raise your minimum wage. The minimum wage is not the problem, the cost of living is. And then what happens is, it's a ripple effect, because if I decide to up the wage, what's going to happen? My manager is going to say, you know what? I can raise my goods and services now, so I have to go up too as well. And then it's harder then for me now to be able to go and get these same products, these goods and services. So the reality of it is this: you can continue to paint over the cracks, you can continue to do all of these things, but when we look every single day, hospital in arrear, school in problems, young people being neglected, the prisoners escaping, contraband coming into the prison, corruption, all different things that we're seeing. The judicial system, ridiculous. When we're looking at the way and the time for a case to be called, when we look at these pillars, we're supposed to be actually upgrading our country and say deteriorating in the way. I have to be that passionate about it to say, you know what? People come on board and stop being manipulated. Stop letting the games and the optics and the narrative that they use to brainwash the people to believe that, you know what, we are good. The reality is that Barbados is in a sick place. There's a cancer currently inside of Barbados that needs to be taken out. A surgeon needs to come and take it out immediately. If not, Barbados will be lost forever. We can no longer stand on the wayside and just listen to, oh, the economy is getting better. Based on what is the measuring stick? Suffering into more suffering? What is the measuring stick? Take a walk in your community. Go and sit down inside the accident emergency center, sit down and watch. And then then what happens is, then there's a ripple effect. You can put the nurses who works there, because at the end of you working in a system where you know for sure, as much as I would like to help you, I can't, because the lack of resources. So then what happens is, then the mental effect that it plays upon these people, the mental effect that it plays upon police officers being paid so little and risking their lives, but the police officers having to then two and 3 people securing hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, at the end of the day, it will destroy the people mentally, financially, and it will continue to erode this country as we know it.
Zico, that's very well said. Now, I know that the viewers, they recognize the passion. You're a young man. How long have you been advocating on behalf of the youth? And I just want the viewers to know, Zico is the voice of the voiceless. This is the voice of the people. How long have you been advocating on behalf of the youth? That's the question.
I could say probably it's now going close to a decade now.
Beautiful.
A decade.
Beautiful.
And the reason why I needed to do it is because the reality of it is that I didn't come from the best of upbringing. I would not lie to anybody and say, well, you know, I had a gold spoon. I had the best farm there, which raised in Nelson Street. So I witnessed a lot. You know, I witnessed a lot of poverty. I witnessed a lot of crime. And what I saw was it was a stigma attached to these people. And the stigma attached to these people was that they're no good and this is how they want to live. But these people was operating in survival mode. And what happens is when you're in survival mode, the frontal cortex cuts out. The part of logic and all that means nothing. Compassion and all that means nothing. It's about survival, which means you're putting them in a jungle mentality. Once you put them in a jungle mentality, it becomes to kill or be killed by all means necessary. You must do this and you must do that. And once you have a compassionate heart, with these people have good intentions, but sometimes have wrong approaches. They might try to do drugs, they might try to do other things along those kind of lines. So I saw it. But what happens is that they was never able to articulate it in a way that was compatible with the ears of the wider Barbados. Some people never saw it as a reality. People just saw it as them over there, and it's us. It's just the haves and it's the haves not. So I tell myself I have to find a way to bring that divide, to break down that gap, and try to articulate it and show people so they could hear the voices and see the sufferings of these people as well. Use my story and how can I use my failures within my life to fertilize not only my future but others as well. And that is what I started to do. And then the more I got involved with it, it's like I can no longer turn back. I can no longer turn back because at the end of the day, if I don't do it, I can't continue to point for other people to continue to do it all the time. So I put myself in the gap and I say, you know what? I am going to volunteer my time, resources, and energy to make sure that these voices are heard.
You know, I know that you've been in it for 10 years. Have you seen it so bad amongst young people, you know, needing help and so forth?
It's at its worst. It's at its worst. And the reason why it's at its worst is because even when we look at the newspaper right now, it breaks my heart. We're seeing young people with old men in the newspaper for the same robberies, for the same crime, which means there's a lack of leadership. There's a lack of positive and productive masculine leadership within our communities. And it's continuing to be that way because once again, if you operate in survival mode, you will shut off the brain that is responsible for logic and reason. You eventually discards that. You discard it and you're going to, I have to succeed at whatever means necessary. Is about me and it's about me putting food on my table. And then sometimes, picture this, you have a choice. You little girl in she bedroom crying, daddy, mommy, I hungry, I want something to eat. And the mother got pretend she vexed. Well, then you better leave her asleep. You hungry what? You want to eat to death? And it's frustration. It's not that because she knows she doesn't have anything to give that child. But what happens is before she lays down at night and think, how am I going to provide for my daughter? Or that father saying, I gotta do something. Let me give me the job. Let me judge me from what part I live. Let me look at my address and say that it's probably a criminal. So what are you going to do? And what happens is he decides to get himself in activity. Once again, probably having good intentions but a wrong approach, getting caught up with the law. And then when you realize it, that's the only means for them to get ahead. And then we see the ripple effect, and we see it continues and continues, and it's like a snowball. It continues and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's the lack of opportunity. It's not education, because Barbados we have education. It's the lack of opportunity, even when having that education, which is the problem. And I'm seeing it every single day, and it's only going to get bigger if we don't do something about it.
And just let me make a point here. I've never seen so many, I would say, businessmen in Barbados. They even would have come out and said they've never seen it so bad. You know, they've never seen even Mr. 500,000. You know, he would have come out and he would have said he has never seen homelessness and so forth so bad in this country. You know, you go on the streets of Barbados, and I've never seen so many young people selling bottled waters. Mind you, I am knocking hustle. Either Barbadians, young Barbadians, they've become ultra industrious. Or things are extremely bad in Barbados, I must say.
And I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
And the minister had the heart to go into Parliament and said, well, if they can't find a job, leave. So it speaks to the insensitive nature of the politicians that we have today to say if you can't find a job, then leave. Which basically means you are no longer serving the people.
Yeah.
You are serving your own agenda. Because if my people crying saying, I want help, why would I tell them leave?
Yeah.
Why would I tell them go elsewhere and look for a job? So it comes back down to this. And then you're welcoming other people into your country saying we have room, we have this, and we want people. But still yet the reality, once again, people will believe what they see rather than what they hear. When we go in, as you say, people they're selling bottled waters, who are doing coconuts, salts, oils, wherever they can, put their hands spun, they can go out there and they can hustle and they can try to make a living for themselves. But everybody eventually is not going to keep up. People can get frustrated and people can turn to illegal activity. And that's the reality of it.
Yeah, and I always say on the program, you know, there isn't an excuse at all for crime and violence. I always say don't advocate for that. However, these are some of the reasons that the young people are getting into crime and violence, you know, and that is something that is the reality, you know, unfortunately. And before I go on, Dale, I think you wanted to mention something.
We mentioned about the economy and opportunity, but why should I, as a young person, you get me, be inspired to work in the system? Example, the security officer, she's working for 8 years. So let's say that she started work at 22, she's now 30 years old. Or let's say she started work at age 25, she's now 33 years old. And after working for 8 years, you then collect a 2-month contract. So what that is saying to any person is that we don't really care about you. Because one, how can you get a car loan or a mortgage? That person, that female have to continue to rent. Rent going at $275 a month, a week for room. So minimum that you could pay for a decent room is $1,000 a month.
But Dale, you're looking at my notes here, right? You're peeping, you're peeping. We can go into that, right? We can go into that. But I just want to ask the young lady on the panel, but we can go into that. Furthermore, I will come to you first. Once again, you've already started, but I'm going to come to you first, right? Then no problem at all. In terms of employment, not employment, in terms of, I believe the question was asked initially, young people, and I asked the question, sorry, apologies, right? The economy and what young people have to see the economy being one that is improving. Talk to me. What are your thoughts from a young person's perspective?
Based on the lengthy discussion from the panel here, and very in depth, to be honest, we can see that is not happening. Even from going back to the crime, as things that they would stated, how the young people are going after crime on a day-to-day basis to be able to survive. Mainly, we are not promoting it, but you know that's what they're doing. So the economy certainly is not booming. The Prime Minister would not know that, obviously, because you know last year there was a meeting in St. George and she would have stated when she listens to the calling program, she wants to know what country she's living in. So we really get to hear that because she often visits us here. She doesn't really live here. So when she visits us here, she's not aware of what is happening within this country. So she wouldn't know if the economy is booming or not. She has to wait for the updates from Mr. Greenwich, or she has to wait on if the ministers make a mistake for her to fly back here to correct it, you know, stuff like that. But she doesn't really know what's happening. But no, the economy certainly isn't booming. I don't feel it. Persons don't feel it. Persons in my community have to work. Jobs on and off. There's also the resilience tax that is on your pay at this particular time period as well. We were promised that we were going to have some glorious years coming up. Even when we go into the bus terminal, for example, there's not even a bus that you can catch. Then they say that they're privatizing it, but then you're still bringing in buses. You say they brought in 35, people still have to wait 4 and 5 hours for a bus. So certainly we are not moving anywhere in this economy.
Oh dear. Yes. Dale, I can go to you now and come to you now. employment quality, you had already spoke, you started to touch on that. In terms of the employment quality, where the young people are concerned, what are your thoughts?
It's atrocious. Reason being, if you qualify for vacation, you don't have to give a reason why you want vacation, because you're qualified for a 3-week vacation or 4-week vacation. You submit your vacation. Once you don't have, once the company don't have a blackout period like the hotel sector, I don't see why persons have to submit a reason why I need to take vacation. You're entitled for vacation. You submit your vacation letter. You notify management. Manager give you the approval based on the circumstance.
Yeah.
But you should not have to submit a letter why you need to take vacation. That is incorrect. Another thing that I disagree with is the contract work. How can Barbadians own a piece of the rock? We forever got rank. The security officer, she got rank. She got rank. That's my question. She have to continue to rank. She put 8 years. We got janitor that put 12 years and receive a 2-month contract.
Wow.
Why them that don't take 2 months in Parliament and then resign? I see how it feel.
Of course.
Why they don't use a temporary contract and go to Signia for car loan and civil signature them? You're going to be working $2,000 a month. You're going to be permanently employed. You have to be permanently employed and working at a minimum of $2,000 a month. So what you think that young people can say, you know what, you ain't make no sense. I'm glorifying crime, you know. Crime,
Of course not.
Crime, I want to, you know, and an excuse with it.
Of course.
To do crime, you got to pay the time.
It's true.
Blank,
It's true.
period. But the reality in Barbados, young black men saying, it don't make sense because like, I watch my mother be a security officer, a janitor, a teacher, a this, a that, and I watch my mother rank and struggle and suffer. That way young people, young black males prefer to go and be a mule. I'm telling you, I'd rather be a mule. I said, what is that? Excuse me, man, I said, he will get 10K just to make a run. Vegetable, vegetable matter.
Yeah.
You get me? So not glorifying it, but these are the extremes the young people willing to face. These are the extremes the young people willing to go. Because either the mother struggling, the grandmother struggling, and it's through employment. We need a system where to appoint people, I don't think it should take 8 years, honestly, to appoint somebody, somebody a permanent contract. Have a heart. Have a heart, honestly. The human beings we deal with. You get me? Hotel workers, we need to move away from the 6 months contract as well in the hotel work. Because you know what's going to happen? As soon as April 15th hit, we going to see the people start getting laid off. And people going to depend, young people going to depend on NIS. So we think that happen? Persons might get involved in crime. And better yet, when you commit a crime, you go before the court, you spend a couple of weeks on remand, a couple of months on remand, maybe a year on remand, if you get remand. But when you get bail, and you get the opportunity to see the light, what is the real opportunity there for you? Who will hire you? You get hold of a gun, you spend 2 years for it, 18 years old, you're 20 now, you come home and you don't want to live that life no more, you want honest dollar. Where's the opportunities? So again, survival mode. The government don't care about our young people, the issues that our young people face as it relates to employment, because there's unemployment and underemployment. Zico mentioned a point that, you know, people can't get employment based on Dawson Street, or Chapman Lane, or Spice Street, or Wellington Street. People have been turned up. A lady changed her address, and then she received a call. So realistically, right, the Barbados Labour Party never really cared about the growth and the development of young people. That was always a Democratic Labour Party focus. which is to teach a man how to fish. That's all from me.
Of course, of course. All right. The question I'm going to ask Rasheed, right? How do young people avoid being reduced to just symbolism once elections are over? I know a lot of people, obviously, a lot of young people use where elections are concerned, given, as Dale said, a fish.
Right. Basically, artists, musicians, young people who would be looking for opportunities. Obviously, there's probably a small percentage, but when elections or whatever is going on, there are some young people who would like to associate themselves with a movement or a greater cause, or just the fact that they may be positioning themselves with somebody who could help them out in the future, right? The symbolism comes during the election, afterwards get dashed away like a dirty rat. So, again, we are here as New Democrats to change the culture that was there for the past 7 years.
Yeah.
We have to show that before the election, you mean something to us. During the election, you're dear to us, and after the election, you have a friend for life. That's the kind of conditioning and consciousness we really need to reach. A community spirit and a community movement. Now, Dale had mentioned some things just now in relation to persons who falling into crime as a result of employment or these contracts or whatever. But we have to be realistic, right? And we have to call a spade a spade. And there are some young people who don't like work, right? I'm not casting any negative aspersions on anyone, but there's a lot of stories about young people receiving jobs, or like I said, positioning themselves, receiving a job, and not being mature enough to manage the situation. If a contractor get a paid-in job, then want half the money. It don't work so, right? You employ somebody, pay somebody to do a job. So I think we gotta start educating and also training our young people to understand business, understand where you stand in the employment ladder, and also how to pursue their goals. I think that is our job as young Democrats.
Yeah, thank you. Zico, as a young man, young advocate, what are your thoughts regarding, obviously, symbolism and elections? Rasheed would have talked about creatives being used around that time and then dash away afterwards. What are your thoughts?
I can give you all a nice marketing tactic that I tend to realize that the administration tend to use. We understand it's human nature to want to be belonging to something, belong to, whether it's a group, a gang, a family, or organization, or whatever the case may be. What tends to happen is that they try to pander to people, whether it's through entertainment, whether it's through cultural trends, and all of these stuff that has nothing to do with the evolution of Barbados. And what tends to happen is that they work upon that sense of wanting to belong to something, and they will bring an entertainer, or influencer to basically pander to the people. But I would advise that we have a different approach, and rather than just belong to Barbados, first of all, have that respect for trying to belong to Barbados, belonging to a party that cares for Barbados and have the ears for Barbados, are looking to take Barbados to newer, bigger, and better heights. And I think we need to get rid of that, I think that old tradition of, just using influencers or entertainers in that sense to just pander to the young people, because young people, they like the entertainment, they like to feel like this is so cool, this government is so cool, look at who they bring, look at who, so they try to cater to the young people in that sense. But then there's another set of young people who understand that, you see, this is doing nothing for us, this is hurting us at the end of the day. And I would encourage young people to really open a wake up from the party, after the music start, what's next? what are you going to do? Is there going to be jobs? You know, is there going to be opportunities? You know, and I ain't talking about opportunities that's going to cut grass. I think young people, you're worth way more than that. You know, I really do believe that. But after the music stops, what is next? After the parties and after the influencers and the fancy, you know, red shirts and slogans, what is next? Have you seen any improvement? Really open up your eyes and pay attention, young people. Don't be tricked. Don't be that these smoke and mirrors distract you from what is currently happening.
And you know, I mentioned creatives, right? It got my brain churning. I want to know, again, still no course where Carry Festa is concerned. Now I'm glad that the creatives, they were able to eat the food. They were able. We're thinking.
They were.
We're thinking. So that's the question as well too that we must ask the government. Have all the creatives, local creatives, if all of them have been paid? That's the question we need to ask. How much was the cost of Carry Festa? And then, if all of the local creatives, if they have been paid, as we refocus, Mr. Kevin, symbolism and artists and so forth being used around election time, and then
speaking about the creatives,
that's where
we keep speaking about the artists, but I'm speaking about youth in general. And you talk about avoid being reduced to symbolism after elections. What I think youth need to understand is that civic engagement goes way beyond just election day.
Yeah.
You understand? And voting is only the starting point, and it's not the end means, basically. We need to start to encourage the youth to start attending more town hall meetings, start to really get our voice out there. Because at the end of the day, yes, they can just vote for the day because, you know, we feel fancy and this is who we like. We more following colors for the day and just falling into bandwagons, as we just call it, right? But we need to really learn to speak out more. We need to really get our voice heard. We need to be more actively involved in what is going on.
Of course.
I see that nowadays town hall meetings, there was one in particular I remembered, which was a young lady by the name of, I think, Carla Daniel, that deals with the turtles. The lady that deals with the turtles.
Yeah.
She actually went to a town hall meeting, and I watched this town hall meeting on TV. And she stuck out like a sore thumb. And I felt so bad after that because, you know what? Why it is that we believe that these town hall meetings just for the elderly folks. Why it is that we believe that only they have a voice.
Well said.
These are the things that we really need to start really paying attention to.
Well said.
And not just that. Every election, every party that's come up with this thing called manifestos. I know that every Barbadian had to hear that word already. But do we really take time to track these manifestos? To sit down and look back at the promises that were being made and ask questions towards like, hey, you say that, but why these are things? These things we need to start paying attention to, basically. We need to start being just more actively involved after the day elections. As the similarly, like, if, and I'm going to break this down to Bajan terms, point blank. If they'll tell me he wants to borrow $5 from me today, and I agree and I give him my X, you know what, I'm going to give you my $5. We can sit down and every day we can say to ourselves, hey, they'll owe me money. And he tell me next week he can pay me when he get paid. If we decide that, you know what, we ain't going to ask Dale a question about it, then we just go and live in his life real comfortable and just do his thing real comfortable. But the day that we get up and start to make Dale miserable, Dale, where is my $5? You promised me $5. You tell me next week you're going to give me my $5. When we start to make these people miserable, start to really make them hold accountability for the promises that they made to us, we got to shake up Dale. We got to make Dale realize that, you know what?
Hold them accountable.
I am holding you accountable for the promises that you made. I track your promise because you give me a time or you give me a date. I need to know what is next, what is happening, why nothing ain't happening. these are the things that we need to start doing going forward, so that, you know what, this ain't just a symbol. You ain't just using us. You ain't using the little creative engines that we have. You ain't using our ingenuity for your advantage only. And I'm helping you because I believe that there's something that you can offer me for my future.
Yeah.
And you know what? I need to start holding you accountable, Dale, for what you promised me. And that is what the young people need to start doing to avoid becoming a symbol just during the elections.
Excellent, excellent. I'm going to ask the young lady beside me, Janine Butcher, the architect behind the slogan, "Seats are moving." The question remains, is it just a slogan? That is the question that we're asking. Janine Butcher.
Well, I would say seats are moving wasn't something that was only from me. It was something that we would have seen being used by young people, and we went along with it.
Yeah.
But we came back up with it, and it was starting to be victimized. You know, people were looking down on it when the video verse came out and everything.
Yeah.
But then we heard the Prime Minister with it saying that seats are moving over there, but we really truly know that the seats are only moving over here. I would say no, it's not just a slogan. I'm sure if you had to answer that question, she wouldn't be able to answer. But I would say no, it's not just a slogan, it is a call to action. Shows that we are holding her accountable. You've seen what you would have done for these past 7 years, and the seats are now moving over to the Democratic Labour Party from St. Lucie to Christchurch. We understand that we want you to know that we were watching. We saw what you did, and we want the young people to also know that voting isn't the only choice. We can start to protest from now for the things that you're going to do, and the things that you're saying now that you're not satisfied with. Let's just say you can start to protest from now. You can join the marches that you see. You can start to do protests online. I know you're very good with the social media, but it's a call to action. When we say seats are moving, we're saying that we're tired with what we're seeing going on. It's time for the seats to move over to the Democratic Labour Party, who has the plans for Barbados and who has the future of the young people at heart.
Of course, boy, time is winding down faster than the Barbados Labour Party's time as government. I can tell you that. Quickly. Question: what does real change look like after election day? Give the panel, one of the panel members, anyone who decides to ask first.
For me personally, I got to see a time running down. For me, real change looks like transparency. Real change looks like accountability. Real change looks like you sitting me down and explaining to me where we really are and where we are going.
Of course.
So that I could really understand the vision. Real change is a vision being brought to me with an action plan behind it. When you do not do that for me, I can't see anything. That is it for me.
All right, Mr. Deal. Well, sorry. Go ahead, Rasheed.
No, it's just a joy. You said time waiting down. You actually went to pick Deal for the last question. Good one. That's right. That's right. That's fine.
So real change would be Democratic Labour Party rising as the new government. Yeah, I mean that's real change. Real change would be Ralph Torn and all 30 candidates sharing the views and the concerns and the issues that the people got. Because when we look at real change is the Democratic Labour Party that actually do what they say they're going to do. You know, like the slogan, like you just do it. Because when we look at the past 8 years, all they see is bare problems. The schools can't open properly. People getting harassed as it relates to employment. The crime rate high, cost of living high, corruption high, everything high as it relates to the Barbados Labour Party. And you know, so real change is real people that understand what people going through.
Of course.
And the yellow is the code, and I guarantee you see where I've turned all 30 candidates, or we can create a history.
Here.
My chief thing is we can make history more.
Here. Zico.
Yeah.
Mr. Zico.
For me, I would say the real change is removing that cancer from Barbados. Is the people going to the polling stations and saying, we had enough. You said, go and watch you. We watch you. Now it's time to remove you. It's time for the surgeons now to get to the operating table and remove this cancer from Barbados. And to me, that is real and true change.
Beautiful. I'm gonna actually ask each panel member now, just 1 minute. Talk to the Barbadian people, and by extension, obviously, the young people of this country. Go ahead, Rasheed.
Yes, sir. What I would like to see of the Barbados and young people by extension. Yes. Camera 1 or camera 2? You want my side on? Young people, what I would like to say to you is that, and we're talking about real change after the election. What we're looking at is job creation, to increase disposable income, to settle the economy, to give you hope, to give you confidence, and to allow you to reach your full potential. So a Democratic Labour Party, after the election, or in process right now, we're looking at long-term solutions. A solution-oriented party, our only focus is community building and strengthening the Barbadian population, and by extension for the young people, ensuring that you have a secure future for you, your grandchildren, your great-grands, and everybody else that will come via down the line.
Deal. 1 minute.
So basically, I just want to say to every young person and every person that's listening, judge this current administration by every single thing we have witnessed. And let us be truthful to ourselves. Has anything in the past 7 to 8 years, has anything been beneficial to Barbadians, the lives, the livelihood? Nothing has been beneficial. So what I'm saying, under the leadership of the Honorable Ralph Thorne,
Here.
all candidates, all 30 candidates, have beautiful ideas, strategic plans, and we care about people first. And I guarantee you, we will not deliver what the Barbados Labour Party deliver, which is $1 billion in debt that we got to pay back. Remember that, people.
Zico.
Yes. What I would like to say to every single person watching and at the sound of my voice, for the mother by the table looking at the bill scratching her head, for the son wondering if he can have a job tomorrow, for the old woman wondering if she can actually get proper health care, for the old man wondering how the debt can be paid for his grandchildren. And I'm telling you people, the time is now. Mobilize. Come to the polling stations ready. Bring your mother, your father, your cousin, anybody who's eligible to vote. Please come out. The time is now, not tomorrow. Let's not hold our heads and wonder, oh, it gets so by the lack of action. People, we mentioned earlier today about the contract workers. We need to remind them that they're also too on contract. And let me tell you right now, the contract time is up. So people, mobilize, let your voices and your actions be heard. Come out and vote. Thank you.
Kevin.
Yes.
My brother.
Well, for me, on the topic again, youth deciding our future through our vote is not about age, Barbadians. It's about responsibility. And if you want better opportunities, stronger communities, and a Barbados that works for everybody that lives in this country right now, we must show up, we must speak up, and we must vote. Simple as that.
Beautiful. Janine.
I'd like to say to the Barbadian youth, we would have had 2 elections, which was the lowest in this party's, in the country's, entire history. I believe that youth participation in this current election can shift the political landscape. Let's make history. Let's get up, let's go and change this nation. We cannot allow for this government to stay for how much more time that they think that they can stay for. And our persons continue to say, even they say the Democratic Labour Party is not ready as yet, because they truly know that's the only thing they can say about us. Because what they would have told you in 2018 and 2022 was all lies. I know that maybe the party didn't come out and explain itself properly or defend properly, but the writing is on the wall for the things that this party would have done for Barbados on a whole. And I just want to say to you that to come out, vote for the Democratic Labour Party, make your voices heard, and do not believe any more propaganda that they would have shared with you. So it's seats are moving with the Democratic Labour Party.
Seats are moving. Janine, Kevin, Zico, Dale, Rasheed. Blessed love all the time. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for voicing. Well, thanks for being the voice of the people. That's what we are. That's all we are. The voice of the people. And honest voices for the people. I want to say thank you, Barbadians, for listening in, for tuning in. This is DLP TV. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is DLP TV. Thank you very much. Good night.
Since I'm moving, one DLP. Since I'm moving, since I'm moving, since I'm moving, since I'm moving, one DLP. Since I'm moving, since I'm moving, yellow is the code, determination in mode. Young them's rise up, we carrying the load. Future in we hands, Barbados we see. Since I'm moving, jump on the DLP. Since I'm moving, there we push the bus. One DLP, moving on with us. Together as one, we can take the fight. Since I'm moving, the future bright. Follow with a knock your eyes on the prize. No time to waste, energy strong. We setting the pace from the block to the hill, from the coast to the town. One DLP, we can hold it down. Since I'm moving, let we push the bus. One DLP, moving on with us. Together as one, we can take the fight. Since I'm moving, the future bright. New ideas, fresh minds, we bringing the flame. Barbados future, we changing the game. Every street, every parish, everybody see. Young them's leading, we claiming victory. Yeah, sit in the bus, sit in the hall. Together we rise, we answer the call. From east to west, let the people know. One DLP, we ready to go. Since I'm moving, let we push the bus. One DLP, moving on with us. Together as one, we can take the fight. Since I'm moving, the future bright. Oh, we are not dead. Who got the energy? Who we riding? The LP bus. Future clear, Barbados strong. One DLP, we all be on. Since I'm moving, let the people see. Give us on the road, full speed we be. No stopping now, we answer the call. One DLP, one family standing tall. No, we are not all. Six are moving, six are moving, six are moving. One DLP, six are moving, six are moving.